This is killing your money, but you don't know it. There's this important question you need to ask when planning for retirement. Actually, I'm about to show you the silent killer of your retirement funds. It's like the frog story. Throw the frog into hot water and it jumps out immediately. Leave that frog in slowly boiling water. It doesn't realize the danger it's in until it's cooked and it's done meat. I wouldn't eat frogs, but you get what I'm getting at. So let me be polite here. Welcome to my channel. I'm Aflin, your financial educator. If you are yet to subscribe, hit that button. It will not hurt your fingers, I promise. Let's build wealth together. Except you are allergic to money. Some people are. Hopefully, you're not one of those that are allergic to money. Let's get into the important discussion for today. I was talking about that drain that depletes your retirement funds. It does it really slowly, but surely. Think about that thief that quietly removes 3% of your savings every year. You don't know this, but after almost 24 years, half of it is gone. Yes, that's how critical it is to know who this thief is and how he operates, how to keep him away from your funds. So let me introduce you to Mr. Inflation. It wasn't a pleasure meeting him, but well, you can't get rid of him easily. So what's inflation? Traditional finance says the dollar loses its value by 3% every year. Well, that's the average, but it peaked at almost 8% in 2022. So the thief gets greedy sometimes, right? But if we keep inflation rates at 3% every year and, just underestimate the thief, it would mean that you would need double the amount that you spend now to maintain your standard of living in another 24 years. Just math. Okay, let me break it down. This means that if you spend $100,000 every year right now to just live fine, to support your family and all of that, in 24 years, you would need $200,000 per year to maintain that same standard of living. So this is an important issue before and during retirement. Now, let me warn you very sternly though. So when you assume an inflation rate of 3% a year, you could be making a costly mistake. Why? During the 70s and 80s, inflation rate was about 5 to 10% for more than a decade. In fact, worse enough, it spiked to about 20% during war times. So more recently, it hit 8% after COVID. So point in hand is this. Assuming that 3% is the average inflation rate over the years, well, it means you have a narrow understanding of history. So we need to make holistic retirement plans that could survive any inflation rate. So this is why you want to subscribe and watch out for all the education this channel has to offer. Now let's get into this. At 6% inflation rate, income requirements will double in a short period of time of 12 years. So this means a person who retires on $50,000 a year at the age of 65 would need $200,000 a year by age 89 to maintain that same standard of living. 4 times what they started with. So it's dangerous. This is why when people retire without adequate planning, they turn poorer and poorer and poorer despite working hard all their lives. So that means it's very important that you pay real good attention. So you'll be poor if you do not pay good attention to what I'm saying today. I must say that inflation is the biggest threat to your comfortable retirement, even if you don't realize it. Inflation could be grim. See it this way. From the 1960s to the early 80s, after adjusting for inflation, the stock market lost 80% of its value. In money terms, you invested $100,000 in 1960. 20 or thereabouts years after, it becomes $20,000 after adjusting for inflation. That's a big loss. So the point is that you don't want to stress test your retirement plan with a mere 3% inflation rate. Again, Mayday, Mayday. I repeat, Mayday, Mayday. You do not want to stress your retirement plan with a 3% rate. This is because history tells us otherwise. So, any financial person, advisor, whoever telling you that you can just guess that the inflation rate over the next 20 years will be 3% is either deceived or just a liar, because there are so many variables that affect how inflation rises or falls. And this includes, government spending, the number of people that are retiring by the day, government social security obligations, all of this wars, future pandemics, or maybe even pandemics, just name it. But the point is this: you should be asking all of these gloomy prophecies, what's the solution? The question is, how do you plan for retirement effectively and overcome the big-headed inflation monster without having to try to guess inflation numbers, which most likely is going to be wrong? So I don't want to make this video too long, but subscribe to this channel because I'll come back and I'll show you how to use a straightforward planning solution to this inflation problem that doesn't require you to make, assumptions of 3% a year, 6% inflation a year, or whatever numbers. Very holistic plan to plan for the future. So I want to leave you with this question: what strategies do you have that beats inflation no matter what its value becomes? So I'm going to answer this question next time. See you soon.